Welcome to a special episode of the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and our tech partner Prime Infotech Solution. Today's series is the Emerging Entrepreneur and theme is Coffee, Customs and Conversations on International Trade. We are with Mr. Viren Dayal at his office. Let me introduce Mr. Viren Dayal. He's a seasoned professional with over 4 decades of experience in the intricate world of customs, logistics, and international trade. He is a pre litigation support expert, trainer, consultant. He brings a wealth of knowledge and insights to the table, from navigating the complexities of custom laws to fostering effective learning environments for his students. Viren's journey is one of continuous growth and dedication. So, friends, sit back, sip your favorite coffee brew, and let's delve into this fascinating journey to know more about the professional and personal journey of Viren. So, Viren, just wanted to explain our format is divided into three parts: your personal, professional, and a surprise rapid fire round,
Okay.
which once you offer properly, wittily, funnily, and quickly, you will get this ebook authored by me. So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani over here, your host and a legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution. So, welcome once again, Viren, to
Thank
this
you.
special coffee episode. So, Viren, my first question. 42 years being in this industry of customs. Let us recap how your journey has shaped from the day you started till today.
Very interesting question. If I have to start on a little humorous note, that I have two older brothers who are chartered accountants. Both are CA, but CA was too good for me, so I became a CHA. So my professional journey started in 1982 when I finished my BCom and I joined Union Carbide India Limited in the corporate finance division, which I left in 1989 to plunge into my family business, which I handled from 1989 to about 2016. In those formative years, I cleared a host of cargo, both inbound as well as outbound, and I had vehicles. I was a transporter, a pure logistician in its own right, and I started teaching customs law, rules and regulations since about the year 2000. So this is my 24th year of teaching customs law, rules and regulations to the fraternity at large. Initially, I started teaching my own fraternity known as the Burhan Mumbai Custom Broker Association. And I can take the liberty of saying that my firm, my erstwhile firm, which I handled from 1989 to 2016, Vallabhdas Dayal and Sons, was one of the founder members of the then Bombay Custom House Agents Association, which was formed in 1936. And I continued to do the business till about 2016. And due to certain developments, I had to leave the business. And here I started my second innings. So, much less of clearance of cargo, but I plunged into another vertical known as teaching. And I used to groom students to prepare for the exams and help them qualify and become custom brokers in their own right. I'll tell you, of course, more about it in the later part.
So, Viren, uh, can you elaborate your role as a pre litigation support expert in customs matters? And what are the new custom laws which have come up?
So, as you know, when you teach, you learn twice. So, the custom broker I've been teaching so many years, I know the entire Custom Act, the rules and regulations by heart. And I have this inclination or this passion for legal work. So, about in the year 2017 or 2018 onwards, I started practicing as a custom broker. Now, generally, lawyers practice, chartered accountants practice income tax. So, I plunged into this new business venture where I practice customs law and I help the exim trade, the importers, the exporters, fellow custom brokers who have problems with customs at different levels. So I appear before them as an authorized representative. I plead before them, I make written submissions, oral submissions, and I help them overcome their issues and problems with Indian customs.
That's very interesting. So, friends, whenever you have is- uh, sorry, problems with the customs laws, Viren Dayal is the expert person to reach out. He handles. He's got a 42 years, and he knows the way around to guide you and get your goods out. So, my next question, Viren. Uh, as you shared, you started teaching and you got a 24 years of experience. Uh, so, how do you ensure effective learning in this customs laws? What are the different strategies do you employ to get students become good? Students become good candidates for the job, and what kind of opportunities are there for these students who take up customs laws in the industry?
Right. So in India, custom brokers are licensed, and only licensed custom brokers can actually handle inbound and outbound cargo. They can make file different documents before customs, and this only a qualified custom broker can do. So how do I teach is what you asked me. Now I teach the customs law from section 1 to all the sections 161, the rules, regulations in absolute detail. I explain each section, I explain each subsection, I explain the provision, I explain the meaning of that particular section, the underlying provisions, so that newcomers in the trade, even existing students in the trade, they get to learn more, and this can help them prepare better. Moreover, I give full access to the recording of all my lectures. I publish books and I give voice notes wherever any students is stuck at any point of time. They call me up or they WhatsApp me and I answer the queries to their satisfaction, or I keep teaching maybe repetitively certain sections till they actually understand what that particular chapter or the section is trying to convey. So I believe in teaching in detail. I have no shortcut methods. I don't teach, I just chapter wise or a topic wise. I teach section wise, and that's how I'll take the liberty of sharing that many students who have been under my tutelage have qualified as custom brokers and taken their licenses, or they've joined their business, the family business, and taken over the baton ahead.
That's very interesting the way you teach. So now, Viren, um, about you shared that you are an author. You have published many books. What about this handbook for G card examination? Can you share something here? What is this? And uh, what brought into you from teaching, being an author? What motivated you?
So I wrote a book under the auspices of the JBS Academy under the guidance of Mr. Samir Shah, who is another very leading academician in India and handles the Jaswant B. Shah group of companies in Ahmedabad. So he invites me over many a times to give lectures, and he knows that I like to write. So he invited me to compile a book which can help newcomers in the industry to learn more insights about the customs trade in a easily and a lucrative language, to easily understandable language. And that's what prompted me, under the guidance of Mr. Samir Shah, to start writing a book, compiling from the book, and that's what I did, and it was published by the Academy about somewhere in 2021.
That's very interesting. Uh, Being a trainer, being an author, being a litigator, you are playing multiple roles. So, how do you divide your time, Viren, professionally and for your family?
It's a tough question which you asked me. Uh, I have two legal interns in my office who help me with the pre-litigation work, and my custom clearance work is limited to not much right now, but will increase slowly. So my litigation part is one vertical which my two colleagues or the legal interns take care of. And now teaching for so many years is nothing new for me to really learn or relearn, but I go through the various new sections, acts, rules, and regulations. Especially the government of India has introduced a lot of measures for ease of doing business, trade facilitation, plus Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India initiative. There are a lot of non-tariff barriers, like we have various compliance procedures which we should know by the back of our hand, or we should be able to guide the trade at large who are into importing and exporting of various goods and services. So this becomes a regular and routine way of reading and upgrading yourself, which I keep doing. And I teach generally in the evenings post office, so around 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on the Zoom platform, and then I go home. My son is settling abroad, and my daughter is also in her own business, so we are all doing fine. So I am carrying out my passion mainly to teach and help the fraternity to grow and pass the exams.
That's very interesting. So now, Viren, my next question will be related to uh, this uh, foreign trade in India. Sorry, foreign trade. What are the different policies government has brought in by import export business increases? My first question.
Okay, so right. So the government started the kick process. The start. Sorry, I beg your pardon. The government kick started the process of ease of doing business, trade facilitation, reducing the transaction cost to help India, be a reliable partner of quality merchandise in the world, trade promotion measures. So many things are going on simultaneously, more so right now. And the actual campaign which kick-started was in 1992 when India adopted the reforms process, and it repealed the age-old import trade control, export trade control, and introduced the foreign trade policy. So over the years, the foreign trade policy has helped exporters grow. There have been good incentives from the government to help exports grow, and after all, we need precious foreign exchange. So, a lot of schemes have been devised over a period of years. Some have been discontinued, some have still continued, and some will continually also, most probably also continue in the future. That's how the government sees. So we have the latest, the national logistics policy in place for integrating various logistics activities. We have the reforms processes in customs for ease of doing business. So once upon a time, India was 166 in the ease of doing business, which is a three-digit number. It's now come down to a robust 60 or 65 number. So the government repeatedly over the years has done a lot and done a lot of groundwork to help India gain more and more mileage as a reliable investment partner.
That's very interesting. Uh, Now coming to the port, which plays an important part. So, what changes you have seen during your 42 years over there?
Right. So, in my last 38 years, to be more precise, of active customs clearance and in the logistics arena, from the erstwhile Mumbai port, now we have the JNPT port, which is a deep water port, and it's got more ships coming. India's trade has increased manifold. We have state of the art equipment, we have huge facilities, infrastructure for clearing the cargo. The government, again, in the ease of doing business, has got direct port delivery cargoes and many such initiatives. The JNPT port can boast one of the busiest ports in India and earning about 40% of India's revenue. It comes from the JNPT port alone. Besides the other ports in India, the major ports. So one of the major important ports of India is the JNPT port, which has seen growing from 1988 when it started to now 2024. So from a single terminal, now it has got 4 terminals and many more coming up. So that is what the journey of the JNPT port is. And I see a lot of growth story in India in terms of exim trade. The new foreign trade policy, which has been devised by the government, is more towards export initiatives, and it also has towns of excellence. It has got good amount of impetus on postal exports, the e-commerce initiatives, and so on.
That was the port.
Yes.
Let's go to this air cargo.
Okay.
How has it developed over the years?
Okay. If you're talking from the business point of view, or
Air cargo.
air cargo complex, or
Air cargo complex, or air, or you say transportation, logistics, whatever you want to say, related to the.
So if I have to put it, air cargo activities have grown much more in space and in pace as compared to the sea transport. And merely from the 4 major cities of Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, and Chennai, now we have major airports, international airports, including Guwahati, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Tuticorin, Jaipur, and many such cities are international airports where a lot of exim activities are taking place. So government now has also, as you know, besides the port areas, there are hinterland places like inland container depots, and which are connected very well by roads and by rail. And a lot of activities of export imports are now not necessarily centralized to just the 4 major ports or the 4 major airports, but they are throughout the country. So you can go to any part of India and you'll find major airports there handling exim trade. So of course, compared to the ports, there has been a good amount of increase both in infrastructure, facilities, and in growth story of exim cargo at various airports in India as well.
That's interesting. Now, coming to the next question on technology. Earlier, there were old ways of working, manual, and all those things. Now, this DGFT portal has come up, customers, CHA portal, so many things. Government has introduced technology way of working without which exporters can't upload their data. So many things they have introduced of e-portals using digital signatures. So this changes. How did it contribute to the development of the exim trade?
So technology has always played a very important role in supply chain, whether it being in a local supply chain or an exim trade. Technology driven products are always, so we have just in time concept, last mile delivery, and such issues, I mean such concepts have been developed so as to ensure faster delivery of the cargo or any merchandise in anywhere in the world. And the technology plays a very important role, like one computer talking to the other computer is the way even Indian customs function. So there is a full ecosystem between Indian customs, the port, the DGFT, and the other participating government agencies to completely usher in transparency, to completely usher in ease of doing business, trade facilitation. And today the entire clearance regime has completely undergone a sea change, from where a custom house agent like me or a custom broker like me or my staff standing in the morning before the custom officer's table has now doesn't have to go to the custom house, because we have introduced the faceless, the paperless, the Turan custom regime, and any import cargo or export cargo must be cleared within 24 hours. So technology is here to stay. It'll keep on improvising, and that's how the future business is going to be as well.
That's very interesting. Just drawing up a scenario, what is the role of logistics, custom house agent, and if they don't work in tandem, together, the consignment can get stuck. So, what do you have
Right.
to say on that?
So I must say that custom brokers like me and many others in India. So there are about 8,000 licensed custom brokers in India, employing about 2 lakh people and moving about 98.5% of India's exim trade, both inbound and outbound. We work seamlessly. We know the compliances. We know the procedures. We know how to guide importers and exporters. And custom house agents are going to be here to stay. Custom brokers like me will also be doing business in the future, as much has been done in the past. Now, I'll tell you why. The government believes in the doctrine of legitimate expectation. It believes in reliability, transparency, and they rely on custom brokers, who's an important link between the trade and the government. And government wants the correct revenue. They want the paperwork to be very thorough. They want compliance to be up to date. And that's how custom brokers play a very vital role to guide importers and exporters at large. And that's how our role is a very integrated and a very important role in shaping India's supply chain.
Any memories where there was some consignment come in for, what do you say, humanitarian cause, and you uh, helped in that, and it was, what do you say, something you feel very happy?
So during the COVID times, the COVID episode, which was in 2021, which was the most severe one, a lot of oxygen cylinders had to be imported to help many the to help many in the hospital. So I was involved in clearing overnight anti-oxygen systems which came from Germany to Hyderabad. It was under the government of Hyderabad, sorry, the government of Telangana at that point of time, and we helped to clear the oxygen cylinders overnight with full support of Indian customs, and we could meet the challenge of the required time and then give the cylinders and transport them from the air cargo to the various facilities as was decided then. So this is one contribution I will always remember and cherish for a very long time.
My next question will be, Viren, transportation of the musicians' instruments, they go for the music show,
Correct.
or paintings which go from here for exhibitions internationally. So, what is the role of a CHA over there?
So answering this question in a separate manner, see there are many exhibitions which take place in India. For example, we have in Goregaon and NESCO, the Bombay Exhibition Center. Similarly, as you rightly put it, many musicians send their instruments abroad when they travel, or they have maybe the cameras going, a lot of other equipment being sent, paintings going and then coming back. So these are known as a carnet, CARNET. It's a French word, carnet, and it is guaranteed by FICCI, the Federation of International Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which is the apex body of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of India, and they guarantee that this particular cargo will come back, and if it doesn't come back, then as a guarantor they pay a certain amount of duty, and then the rest is taken from the exporter. So FICCI works as a very important body here, that whatever goes has to come back within a certain limited time, which is normally 6 months of its export, and that is being regulated in a very fairly large manner and a very accurate manner.
Good sharings you have shared about this. It's a new learning for me and all the viewers over there. Uh, is there any appellate authority for payments not being received by importers and exporters in India?
So payments not being received by importers and exporters in India, there are certain government agencies like we have the ECGC, the Export Credit and Guarantee Corporation of India, which is like an LIC. You can cover your risk. Otherwise, the Indian mission abroad can be approached. The monies don't come. Other than that, it's not there's no complete smooth mechanism to get the money in time if it doesn't come. Only thing is you have to approach Reserve Bank of India, because Reserve Bank of India is a regulator of the Foreign Exchange Management Act, and if the money in foreign currency doesn't come in a certain time, they have to be approached to the bankers that there is a problem, and then to some extent under the FEMA regulations amount can be written off. But otherwise there is no foolproof mechanism that the money is not come abroad you can get it. In India, it's a separate matter if your money is stuck in India, but not abroad so far. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, there is no such effective solution relatively what we have in India for Indian merchants.
That's interesting. Let's talk about the tax laws on foreign trade.
Okay, so sometime back when I mentioned that in 1992 we started the reforms, when we removed the barriers of trade, we encouraged a lot of foreign investment. Gradually, the rates of duties, taxes came down almost to an ASEAN level. So today, India can say that our rates of duties are also not that very high, especially now with the implementation of the GST regime with effect from 1st July. So India is one of those countries who have a fairly low rate of duties and taxes when the goods are imported in India. But of course, there are other things which India needs to keep a watchdog's kind of a watch. It says, the non-tariff barriers for safeguarding India's economy, environmental concerns, and something to do with India's security. So all these non-tariff barriers are there, and there are some other regulations to so that no wrong goods go out from the India. So those are regulated. But otherwise, as far as the duties are concerned, it is fairly uh, good duties right now. In fact, once upon a time, even gold was a controlled commodity, is no more a controlled commodity. So a lot of things have changed. Rather, again, I would repeat the word sea change over the period of so many years, and now we hardly have anything that is which cannot come into India.
Interesting. Tell us about this Federation of Freight Forwarders Association in India.
Okay. So for about almost 2 years, I joined the Federation of Freight for the India. So it is an apex body. So we have, as I told you, about 8,000 custom brokers in India, pan India, that includes the ports, the inland container depots, land custom stations, and so on. And the each custom house has got a recognized body of custom brokers. Like we have the Bruhan Mumbai Custom Broker Association, the Calcutta Custom Broker Association, and so on. So pan India, there are about 30 such associations, and the the apex body of all those 30 associations is the Federation of Freight Forwarders Association in India, who is the official mouthpiece to the government and to Ministry of Surface Transport, Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Civil Aviation, and they take forward various grievances, views, and various policy matters they discuss at that level, and they give suggestions to all these ministries. So there I was after I sort of after 2015 I joined in 2016 and 17 for almost 2 years, and I was there the director and handling all these activities up to giving suggestions and taking forward views and coordinating with various agencies.
Thank you for that, Viren. Now, my next question will be which publications should one follow, or how do you keep update yourself and other CHs can keep themselves updated for the different changes happening in custom regulations and global trade policies?
So more than global trade policies, India is now constantly under a lot of changes, a lot of compliances, a lot of non-tariff barriers are coming. Like we have the paper import monitoring system, we have the EPR, that is the extended producer liability for plastics. We have battery, we have steel import monitoring system. So many kind of non-tariff barriers which we need to know. So I personally believe that every day you must check out for the various government websites to see the new changes, the new circulars, new notifications. You should invest in good books like the manuals which are giving updated information as well. So our industry now demands a continuous monitoring of various publications from the government, especially from the Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs website, the DGFT website, so that we are abreast of things and we can guide our clients. So we are obliged as custom brokers that we must impart proper information to our clients on whatever changes which take place. So we need to read every day, we need to research every day, and that's what we keep doing. That's how we come to we bring ourselves up to speed on various changes.
Thank you. Uh, can you discuss the importance of effective communication and relationship building skills a CHA should have?
So one of the hallmarks of proper communication and relationship building skill, according to me, is to understand a viewpoint not from your viewpoint but the customer's viewpoint, from the custom officer's viewpoint, and whatever you say, you should say the truth, so that that helps you not only build confidence when you say the truth. Your customer also knows that this is what the factual position is, and the rate of duty is going to be 7.5%. I cannot circumvent it to 2.5%, although I desire to be so. As an example, I'm giving. So here I have learned that communication should be always truthful. Communication should be with research, and communication should help the client at the same time look into the issue, how the custom officer would be thinking, how the client is thinking, and what is the best solution for a certain given clearance process. This is what I would personally advocate.
Thank you. So my last question for your professional journey. There are many more questions to ask, but due to limitation of time, what advice would you give to young professionals aspiring to enter the field of customs, law, logistics, and international trade?
Okay, so I would say that there is never a wrong time to do the right thing, especially in a country like India, which is now, I would say, the logistics industry is a sunrise industry with a lot of changes, a lot of impetus on infrastructure development, the national logistics policy, the ease of doing business. A lot of cargo is likely to flow in and bound to India, and India, of course, is it's got a stable government. Plus, we have good manpower, skilled and semi-skilled. So there are good amount of direct foreign investments in India, also infrastructure and other projects. So industries are going to grow, and once a particular industry comes up, naturally ancillary industries also come up. So I would say that when I joined the line in 1988, I was told that in Gujarati, Varta Pani che. Varta Pani che means you joined the wrong line. Then I was told in 2011 that everything is now going to be automated. Now the computers come, the everything is going to be, you don't have to go to a custom house. Business is going to reduce. But that was again 14 years ago. I don't see anywhere anything has reduced, but on the contrary, the work is increasing. Only thing is that you should be true to your subject. You should be able to answer questions properly and take work which is in a very scrupulous manner, and that's how you grow.
Interesting. So we come to the personal section. Let us check out Viren as a person. So now, Viren, tell us something about your formative growing up years.
So uh, I don't want to overstep in my communication here, but Amir, I lost my mother 50 years ago. I lost my father 40 years ago. So when I lost my mother, I was 13 years old, and when I lost my father, I was 23 years old, still struggling. And I have two brothers, chartered accountants, so they actually helped me groom myself, my sister-in-laws, and that's how I eventually grew up. And then I worked in a after I did my BCom. As I told you, CA was too good for me, so I couldn't do it. And I started working, and then I joined my father's firm, my grandfather's firm, where my uncle offered the role to me in somewhere in 1989, and then I carried on till about 2015 and 2016.
Sorry to hear about you lost your parents in your early ages. Uh, what are your hobbies or interest which you have developed over the years?
So somehow people tell me that I always try to be a rainbow in somebody's cloud, and I try to help people in whatever their difficulties are, not necessarily financially at all, but try to help them overcome their grief or try to overcome them the issues. I try to solve them. I try to help people, and I've done that in without anything expecting anything in return. To be very honest with you, I've helped people get the right doctors, get the right treatment so that they don't spend more money, especially the poor people. And the doctors say, कि ये करने का है, वो करने का है, but no, I said, you take a second opinion. I have doctor friends who are from my building, my childhood friends, my school friends. They are doctors, they give you the right treatment. So I have this knack of helping people in whatever they I can, especially in the medical field, and try to help them and see that they overcome their grief and their problems.
Thank you for that. Uh, how do you stay in touch with your old friends and relatives?
Oh, I am the one who formed school groups. I am the one who formed the college groups. And to answer this question more accurately, in on the 4th of March 2023, we college friends met after 40 years of passing out, 41 years. So in 1982 batch, we met in 2023 after 41 years, and about 150 of us gathered, and we had a nice time. Now we are planning a second reunion. Similarly, with school friends, also we have a lot of groups where we interact, we meet, we know each other's families. We also have a building group, the old building group where I lived as a kid. We are connected there too. So everything is now just press of a button on your WhatsApp channel, and that's helped us to stay in touch as well. But yes, we do meet all this, and I am one of the ones who are. I take a lot of initiative in meeting up with old friends and relatives and so on.
That's very interesting. Now let's talk about your. We have heard many things about your work, teaching. Any interest in music or play, something like that? Let's.
So in college, I used to do the background, the backstage light effects, and I used to do all that. I took a keen interest in acting in school. For example, in my school, I did Badal Sarkar's A.M. Indrajit while I was in school, and many other plays. The Chameleon by Anton Chekhov's book was enacted by me as well in college. I see some movies, but off late I don't see many movies, but I've seen many good movies. Most remarkable one being Manthan, Mrigaya, the very first movie of Mithun Chakravarti, and he got a national award. It was Sir Richard Attenborough's movie. And yes, I see whenever I can, but off late I've not been seeing many movies, especially after the COVID episode took place. So I see a lot of on Netflix nowadays. But I like to see the old classics, the war movies, a few of the Western ones. I don't go for dramatics anymore, but I generally keep myself occupied only on the TV screen.
Okay. Uh, so that is your acting and all those things. Let's talk about your interest in food.
So I've had my share of sweets and all the exotic Indian foods. Now diabetic since 32 years, and of course I've cut down on those very fancy foods. I prefer home food mainly, the Indian food. I'm a vegetarian, and what I like is the home food, home cooked vegetarian food. Now at this age, I'm not very fussy. I eat whatever I get, and I go to the club where I sometimes eat the normal charts and other dishes. But I try to avoid sweets, but it's difficult sometimes. But I try to avoid.
Okay. So I'll remember what to get for you next time. So how do you unwind, Viren, after uh, and recharge after a busy day's work?
Right. So I go home. I'm there with my wife and my daughter, since my son is now settling abroad. So we just sit and talk, and we talk about each other's day, how it progressed in that particular day, and what they did, and how many tiffins sent, and so on. And then I help with the household work. Then I do a little bit of reading, and that's about all. That's my daily routine, excepting on Sunday when I spend time with the club with recreational activities.
Interesting, interesting. Now, Viren, uh, many people must have contributed in your journey. So, who are those people who have impacted your personal life as well as your professional life?
So you always learn a lot from seeing your elder siblings. So I got to learn a lot of things from my brothers, and my children have been a pillar of strength for me, and they've helped me to stay where I am. Uh, my students have helped me to also come up in taking my lectures, and I have some good friends who have helped me to even stay afloat. I would literally say when I started my second innings as a more of a consultant and faculty, full-time faculty. So that's been my I have had, of course, many good people in my life, and I would just say God is great, and thank you for good people, good friends, and good family.
Interesting. Mm, my last two questions. What legacy do you want to leave behind, Viren?
So I can only answer this question in one particular line: just pass it on. I believe in passing it on. Whatever I have passed on to you, you pass on to the younger generation. Try to help people. I would just say that much.
Very true, very true. Now, uh, describe Viren in one line.
Describe Viren in one line. Never say die. An attitude of gratitude.
Wow, wonderfully put. So, friends, we have coming to the surprise rapid fire round. So, Viren, you have to be very quick, funny, witty. Tea or coffee?
Definitely tea.
Okay. Your favorite music?
Kishore Kumar,
Your favorite restaurant?
Khaibar,
Okay. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
morning person,
Your favorite book?
uh, India through ages,
Wow. Favorite cuisine?
South Indian.
Wow, no Gujarati. Okay. What best piece of advice you have ever received?
Viren, stop daydreaming and start working.
Whoa, whoa. So you answered very well,
All right.
wittily, and a lot of with insights. So you get this ebook
Thank you.
written by me. So, friends, it was a lovely conversation we had with a senior expert, 42 years in the field of customs, logistics, and international trade. Do watch this episode when it's published on the YouTube channel, the Coffee Conversation Show. It was many more insights, many things to learn about Brain, about his journey, and you will learn a lot. Anyone wants to become a CHA, you know whom to contact. You can find his details, which will be shared in the on the YouTube channel. So it was lovely having this conversation. Look forward to another conversation with another subject expert, with a guest speaker at the Coffee Corner Show. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. See you. Signing off. Laina Mirvrani.